Okay, so I've been having fun lately with a track from, well, a lot of people have done the track actually. Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra made the track popular. It's called Something Stupid. So what I'll do is I'll play you a section of the track and then I'll come back and we'll start breaking down the various pieces and I'll explain it to you. So it goes like this. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some idea as to how it goes. As I often say, try and make these things your own. That's what I've tried to do there. It's very similar, but it's not exact because I like to make it my own. All right, so what can we hear going on there? Well, there are three guitar parts going on there. We have a rhythm part, we have a fingerpick part, and we also have a couple of fills thrown in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll break it down into the kind of separate parts and talk you through each of those, yeah? So if we start out with the rhythm, it'll be a very good grounding for you to get a solid kind of timing, because that's going to be very important if you go on to try the finger-picked kind of version of the song, yeah? And so what we've got to kind of listen out for is where the rhythm comes in there. So we have, it comes in at that point, okay? So if you think of it like that, just listen out for those notes. Then we're in with the first chord. Okay, so that's what you need to remember about that. That's exactly where you come into the riff, okay? So there, right. Now, another thing I need to mention before we go on is the strumming pattern. Now, if you've watched my videos, you'll probably know that I'm not a great advocate of down, up, up, down, down, up. I haven't really taught that method. Now, if it works for you, then that's great, yeah? But I always recommend that you spend some time trying to develop your own rhythm, okay? So you're not reliant on what, you know, what's happening there. Is it down, is it up, is it down, down? It doesn't really matter, because the important thing is to make it your own, okay? So my advice to you, so you develop your own rhythm, is to shut off the strings with your left hand so you don't get any sound, like so. And if you go to, say, YouTube or something and just type in something stupid, you know, for what we're doing, you might want to take a look at the Robbie Williams version rather than the kind of Frank Sinatra. Only because we're playing it in the same key, but for the purposes of this exercise, it wouldn't really matter too much, okay? So let's just pretend you've deadened off these strings, you've got the video up there, you're going to play along with it, or the CD or whatever. And just start out, it might just be downstrokes, but as long as you're in time, it doesn't really matter, you know. That's the important thing to try and develop. Then you might have an up-down kind of thing, and as you're listening, you can work on the timing. Okay, and as you get a little bit more developed, you can kind of this is really the only way to develop your strumming, you know, I would suggest, okay? So for this kind of song, if you aim for something like a... Now if I was to slow it right down, that's kind of quite slow. Okay, so that's something basic, okay? That's the best I can really do for you there, because I don't play the same thing twice. You know, I tend to play it a little bit different each time. So anyway, on with the song. We have the in with the A minor 7th, which is just the 2nd string on the 1st fret, and the 4th string on the 2nd fret, and we play to a D7, that kind of idea, and then to a G. Okay, so if it was to play it at its proper tempo, it would be kind of a... Now, exactly at that point is where the vocal comes in, okay? So let's try and play that first intro bit together after 4, okay? So we've got A minor D7, A minor D7, A minor 7, I should say, D7, A minor 7, D7, and the G. Okay? So after 4, 2, 3, 4. Vocal comes in and we switch to a G major 7, which I think is quite a nice chord. We leave this E string open, so we have that kind of sound. Now you can play the bass with your thumb or leave the bass and just play the 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd and 1st, yeah? So I'll leave that to you, you kind of make a choice there. So, as I say, that at that point the vocal comes in and we switch to this G major 7 and we play back to A minor 7, D7, A minor, D7, back to the G major 7. Then we switch to a bar G to like introduce some bass. Then we play a G7, take off that little pinky, to a C. Then we play an E flat, which is never a particularly nice chord to play, okay? To here. Alright, so that's just the 6th fret, 5th string. And then I'm playing like, if you imagine an A, you know those 3 strings there. I'm just playing that effectively with that finger, this finger here. Yeah, so we have, yeah, you can see that there. That's an E flat, or that's an E flat. So that's just like a D moved up 1. And then try and play a C with your remaining fingers, yeah? Very awkward to play that D flat, or you've got that one. And then we go back to the A minor D7. Yeah? To G. All right, so if we call that the verse, let's just run through it one more time because there's quite a lot to remember there, yeah? So from the kind of solo, to the bar, 7th, C, E flat, then then back to A. Okay, so far, if we consider all that lot that we've just looked at the verse, then I'll take you to the remaining parts, if you like, okay? So, we end on the G, okay, and that is where we carry on into the next part. So we play the G in the bar position, and the 7th again. Okay, so we have the major, 7th, then to the C, then we go to A major, yeah, which I'm sure you're familiar with, just the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings on the 2nd fret. Then we take off our middle finger to make it an A7. And then we just play a D, and then like a D sus2, and then we're back into a verse. Okay, so let me talk you through that one more time. Okay, so we have the G major, you can see, that's your 7th, C, then the A major, A7 and D, D sus2, yeah, and then we're just back into the verse. Back to the A minor, 7 and D7. Back to the G major 7. G7. E flat. Then we go back to the A minor 7. D7, A minor, D7 and G. E flat. G, E flat, G, E flat, and G. Yeah, so that end bit just goes between the G and the E flat. Okay, like so. So they're the remaining parts. You just got that kind of section there, which is very similar to the end part of the verse, really, in a sense, except for where in the verse it goes from the C to the E flat. In that part, it goes from the C to the A major to the A7 and the D, D sus2. So that D sus2, as I say, is just the 2nd and 3rd strings on the 3rd fret. So you go from a D to that D sus2. Okay, which is quite a nice chord if you don't know it already. Okay, now that just about covers the rhythm version of the song. Yeah, you've got everything there that you need to play the whole song in that rhythm sense. There are also a couple of other guitar parts, okay, so you have the riff, obviously, and also I play the Spanish guitar for a finger-picked version over the kind of top, yeah, so whilst that rhythm was going, I played a kind of that kind of thing. Okay, so I played that on a Spanish, but for the purposes of this exercise and showing you the song, I'll use this guitar, okay? So we've got the rhythm sorted. Now, if you're interested in learning the finger-picked version, it's another exclusive on my website, so you can go there and you can learn it completely free, okay? And I will talk you through the whole kind of the whole song like we did with the rhythm, only I'll break down all the finger-picked part for you, okay? So should you wish to like that, then I'll pop a link down below, or there'll be a kind of little sign up above to kind of tell you where to click and things. And you can join me for that lesson at my website, as I say. It'd be great to see you there. It'll also give you the opportunity to have a look around my website, which is kind of much better for me to organise all my material, so you can find things a whole lot easier. And there's other stuff on there as well. As I say, there are quite a few exclusive videos which you won't get on YouTube. So I will see you there for those of you who would like to learn that finger-picked version. Along with the licks as well, I'll be covering those too. So I hope that this has helped you. And if it has, you know, then please feel free to share the links far and wide, as I say. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again for watching.